I'm doing K5 Press, and I'm here with NFL legend and Lights Out Extreme Fighting co-owner Shawne Merriman. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Man, so you have another event this Friday, but before we get to that event, I wanted to recap Lights Out Extreme 6 real quick. What were your thoughts on the event?
I thought it was great, man. It's hard. The turnout's always great. The energy's great and all that stuff. But sometimes, because of the fight and the matchup, you don't know how that part of it's going to go. You know, if a guy's going to come in and there's nothing wrong with that, but if it's not an exciting fight or a guy's not punching, everybody got after it on the card. You know, and then you start to see some of these guys like emerging, and you can start seeing them having like a level of star to them. And so you watch them, man. So it's fun to kind of see where they are. Like some of these guys that fought for us, LXF 1 and 2, and they come back and they're a totally different fighter. And you're like, hold on, shit. I remember that guy, he wasn't throwing like that, or he wasn't, he didn't have that killer instinct, and now he does.
Yeah. So you have two new champions. What's next for them?
For John Paul and God, I can't think of one. Well, for one, I'll tell you this. I think John Paul, when we talk about stars, he is, he's going to be that. And you see it. And, his dad is just legendary in itself and been around for a long time. But when you see a guy that has the qualities all the way around, really, really good kid, but man, he got something about him. Like he walks in the room, he's there. And that's how I do it with all like athletes, especially NFL players. Some guys might come in and you're like, oh, okay, that's such and such. He feels he has that presence there.
Yeah. So John Paul and then Victor Henry.
Then Victor Henry. Man. It's funny because Victor Henry was talking. We do these the fight what you call vignettes or whatever, and when they start talking about what they have coming up. He was like, I'm bringing violence. And they knew each other well with Albert Morales. They knew each other well. And, he's one of these guys, man, it's like, I think he's had a quote in there. He said, we're going to, kick his ass and go eat some barbecue or something like that. Those are the guys that you have to like be scared of because they actually love to fight and they have nothing against you. Like they got nothing. They're just fighters. So, and Albert, our former champ, man, he's always going to be around, man. He can go too.
Awesome. So Lights Out Extreme 7 takes place Friday. First of all, what was the decision to have it on Friday instead of Saturday, like your last two events?
Yeah, we got well, for one, some of the how the fighters worked out and trying to get certain guys in town. That was one part. Also, there's other fights and stuff going on Saturday as well. And we want to make sure we get everybody's full attention. And the third part of it, I believe football had some programming and some stuff like that too. It worked out the best for us to do it on the 10th and not the 11th.
Perfect. And then so in the main event, Roosevelt Roberts makes his first post-UFC appearance. His fight, he takes on Darren Smith Jr. There is a backstory between these two fighters. What are your thoughts on that matchup?
It's funny because I wasn't around when they were supposed to initially fight, but when it was California Extreme Fighting. And I was getting wind of it when the matchup was about to be made. And then I found out the reasons why they didn't fight and how much, kind of built up, pent up energy it was back then. And I was like, man, yeah, we got to do this one. And when both of the guys jumped on board, it was great. They both got great following. People, they sold so many tickets, both of them. And, that one, that was going to be a banger, man. I really can't wait for that one.
Yeah, no, that's a fun fight. How important was it for you to snag Roosevelt Roberts off the, free agent list, you could say?
Look, for us, we understand what I wouldn't even call it up against because it's not like we're really competing with anybody. It's, we have our thing of our own. But when you have these fighters that fought at that level before, and you got that opportunity to bring them over and showcase their talent with Lights Out, you take that shot and you make it happen. And that's what we're about. Some of these guys are trying to get back there. Some of these guys have been off for a little period of time. And the worst thing you can have as a fighter is ring rust. I mean, cage rust. That's the worst thing you can have. And having a time off, and you just need to get back in that regimen. You need to, get those rounds in. And and so when you got guys ready to go, and they want to go, you make it happen.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, that's it. It was a great pickup by you guys, and I think I can speak for a lot of people. It's going to be great to see Roosevelt Roberts fight for you guys. And then in the co-main event, you got Tim Ryson versus Ryan Lilly. Both these fighters believe this will be the fight of the night. What are your thoughts on the fight?
I agree with that. I agree with that. Ryan, I worked out with him with Bas Rutten probably maybe about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And you get around these guys that they love to bang, right? It's not, obviously it's going to be strategy and things they're going to work on, but when it comes to just want to just throw and get after it, he's one of these guys. And it was I've always been a big fan of nicknames, right? Like the Lion. And so we were talking a little bit about that, but I agree. I think the co-main event, I think that's going to be probably, if not the best fight of the night, the most active, right? These guys are they're gonna just throw until they can.
Yeah, no, that is a good fight. And then I just wanted to get your opinion. Are there any other fights, any other fighters on this card that stick out to you?
Well, we still got some stuff. We got a couple of D-League fights as well. Some up and coming guys who've been with us for some time. JJ Buckner is going. He's going to be a great one, man. And when you talk about a following, it's like somebody who hasn't hit yet or got to that level yet, that has the type of following that he has. Hundreds by himself, show up to see him. And so, he's. I think that's going to be another one. Maybe even possibly make TV if it gets the time and permits itself. We would love to get that one on football.
Awesome to hear. And then I wanted you to reflect on your 2021 as a whole, man. So you've had 2 successful events. You got your last one of the year this Friday. You got to deal with Fubo TV. What are your thoughts on the year?
For one, we talked about the pandemic and coming out of that and stuff like that. How we came out of there running like immediately right away. But 2, Fubo, they just crossed over like I think they announced they had over 1 million subscribers. We are the 4th highest, 3rd or 4th highest most viewed program on Fubo TV ever. And these numbers are just growing. And they got a lot of great sports, a lot of great action on Fubo. And so the number speaks for itself, right? There's no hype in that. These are real actual people, the hours watched. And we're just getting started because this thing is about to come across as fully integrated where people can be a part of the action at home. Like that was one of my main things. And I when I talked to Fubo early on, it was like, I kept bringing up the NFL because that's what I'm most familiar with, and how the NFL people don't understand. NFL got as big as they are because of like fantasy football and those things. I mean, once that happened, it took the NFL to a whole nother atmosphere. It really did, because let's face it, fans want to be a part of everything. And if you feel like you can control your team or control being there with your fighter, and the more the more engaged that you are. And so Fubo is doing just that. They're making this thing fully interactive, fully integrative. And soon you're going to feel like you're there. And that's the whole point.
Here. And looking forward to 2022, what do you want your 2022 to look like?
Yeah, I'm working on something now. First week of January,
Wow. Okay.
right out the gate, right after New Year's, somewhere around that Chargers Raiders game in Vegas. Hopefully, we're trying to put that together and get past Friday. Hopefully, put on a great event. Where I think we got like 50 to 60 tickets or something like, I don't know, very few tickets left, and those are normally like walk-ups when they come up. But if people haven't got their tickets yet, go to lightsoutxf.com. There's still tickets available. But we want to come out probably the first of the new year with our biggest one. That I think me personally, if you know, I'm talking Vegas and hopefully you know, we can make that happen, but I'm pushing like hell to get that done.
And then are you looking to do an event every month, every 2 months?
Every single month. I would love to go first, second week of February. After that, you know, the first week of March. Every 3 to 5 weeks. After that, I would try to push to get something done. There, look, the truth is, there's more than enough fighters to need opportunity. That's the truth. You got a lot of guys out here that's gifted. They're ready to go. They've been training their ass off, and they want opportunity. And for us, we want to be one of the ones to give them that.
That's awesome, and that's all you can really ask for is just have a promotion that's willing to give you fights, you know. And then finally, just some NFL talk in case we don't talk until the season ends. Give me your prediction for the rest of the season, and I guess like the playoff picture. What are your thoughts?
Well, the Chargers?
For the Chargers, for the entire
look, my Chargers, they always play with our hearts, right? Like, you know, we're up here, we're beating everybody, then you're like, what in the hell's going on? It's the do and die being a Chargers fan, right? That's why we love the boys. But the showing against the Bengals, right? And that's a really good Bengals team. They stopped the run. They were getting turnovers on defense. And so those are things that they struggled on when they lose games, right? If they beat the teams, I think they got KC again, they got the Raiders in January and some other teams. If they beat all the teams they should be and split the games, the rest, they're going to be in the playoffs, right? And I think they're going to have that wild card. If they get in there, they're probably going to be one of the scariest teams to play. You know, you always look at these teams like getting the playoffs, and you're like, oh hell, I don't want to play them. Like the Chargers are them because you know they can put up 40+ points, and you know that if they stop the run on defense, get turnovers, they're going to just keep scoring because they can. And then for the rest of the NFL, I think the AFC picture is just wide open. It's every week we're like, okay, you talked 4 or 5 weeks ago, we're not even talking Patriots. Now they're leading the way. You know, so the AFC to me, in my opinion, is just wide open.
I'm a Steelers fan, and so I just want to let you know that the Chargers beating the living shit out of them on Prime TV hurt my heart.
But, you know, and the thing is, they almost came back, and I love Mike Tomlin, I really do. You know, he's been a winning coach for a very long time. And this is probably his most difficult season yet because he's dealing with a declining Ben Roethlisberger. I know that Ben talked about this being this last year. He hasn't said it publicly, but I think everybody else around him is saying it. But we all got eyes. We know this should be it for Ben. And they got to rebuild on the offense side of the ball. But there's a lot of things Najee Harris. There's a lot of things that they upside. Claypool. They got some guys there who can go, and they just need some smaller pieces, mainly on the offensive line side of the ball.
Gun to your head, who makes the Super Bowl?
The NFC, I think it's going to be either the Cardinals or the Bucks, and Green Bay. Like it's this season, man. It's really tough to say because there's so many good teams. Even before when Jameis Winston when they were healthy, the Saints were up in the picture at some point, right? So you gotta look at either Green Bay, Tampa. I don't think the Rams just, we talked about them early on, but they keep falling to teams that are good. Actually, they blow the ones out that they should, but they struggle against really good teams. So it'll be between those three teams. On the AFC side, again, wide open. You Patriots, you got to talk about them again. The Chiefs are back explosive again. Somehow, some way that no matter how many injuries or whatever happened, the Ravens keep finding a way, even though they lost the last game, they keep finding ways to win. The Chargers, if they get in the playoff, they might be, in my opinion, the scariest team to play.
With the Rams, man. So what's your opinion on why are they not as stacked as they go out and buy OBJ, they go out there and get Von Miller. is it the chemistry that just is it meshing? Is it like what is it?
No, I think the biggest thing is that whenever you add a big name guy or person, people just automatically assume you're going to get out there and start winning football games. It takes a little bit of time. It really does. Like I remember when Tom Brady first got there, and you had Antonio Brown, all these guys. You thought that they would just be blowing people. They struggled early on. They really did. So you have to give them some time. They're going to find ways to use Von Miller a little bit more. Find some ways to get Odell open a little bit more and spread the ball around. Those are the things that just takes a little bit of time to do.
Interesting. Awesome. It's always awesome to pick your brain about the NFL. And I just wanted to say thank you for your time, Shawne. Tell everyone where they can follow you, follow Lights Out Extreme, and where they can watch Lights Out Extreme Fighting 7.
Absolutely. Follow me at Shawne Merriman on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us also on Twitter and Instagram at Lights Out XF. Get your tickets for this Friday, the Commerce Casino, lightsoutxf.com. You can buy the tickets there. And come early. You know, a lot of people down there at the tables at Commerce Casino lighting it up down there, getting a little blackjack in or Russian roulette or something, or the roulette table. But yeah, so come and check it out, man. This is going to be a big one. Got a big main event against Roberts and Smith. These guys are going to get after it.